My name's Linda Jenkins. I live in Brisbane, Australia, and I'm a business owner of Amazing Lips, selling organic cosmetics plus forever new aloe vera.
Okay, very good.
Okay, very
So,
good.
uh, everybody will read your chapter or have read your chapter when they find this interview. So, could you resume it in a little bit, in a short way, about your life, your
Okay,
journey?
okay. Basically, my chapter's on how I became where I am today after the death of both my children. My life hasn't been easy, but when I lost both my children, especially when I lost my youngest one 10.5 years ago, that nearly destroyed me. And there were a couple of people that helped make me survive that journey. 9 years later, I lost my eldest son, which was only 2.5 years ago. The day that happened, one of the first things that came to my head was I wasn't going to go down the same track as I did when I lost my youngest son, Shane. Shane passed away to suicide, and Lloyd was killed in a car accident. I knew I couldn't go down that same journey because that nearly destroyed me when I lost Shane. So when I lost Lloyd, something inside me changed, and I knew I had to do something to change my life to survive. And one of those things was I got involved reading a lot of self-help books. And then I started my business with Amazing Lips, which is a Senejan's product. And between the two, that has kept me going all this time. I mean, it's in a lot of ways, it's still very early days for me, as it's only 2.5 years since I lost Lloyd. So I still got a very long way to go. But I've surrounded myself now with a lot of good people, positive people, and I've eliminated people and things that just don't mean anything in my life anymore. For me to grow and to be able to succeed and to I don't know, just to be able to survive after such a traumatic experience in my life, it takes everything in you. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. It's one of the hardest things that a parent can ever go through. And for me, having the few people around me has been amazing. Reading the books that I've read has made me open my eyes to how to change the way I think, the way I do things, the way I see people, instead of judging people for what they're doing and why they're doing it or whatever. I look at it in a different light, and I see, and I ask myself the question, what made that person go down that track, or how can I help that person with what's going on in their lives now? And every day is a learning experience. Every day is something new that I learn on how to survive, because basically that's what it's about, surviving. And don't get me wrong, I still have some very, very bad days. I had a pretty bad day on Sunday. But you've got to dig really deep to be able to get out of that darkness and to be able to find that that willpower to keep going, to keep living, because it's not only about yourself. There's a lot of other people around you that love you and care about you that need you too. So
and what about your business? How did you start it?
my business, I was actually in, I went last year to America with a group of ladies, and then we went to Thailand. And while I was because one of my girlfriends that was in the group decided to take me away. She thought just being right away from everybody and everything would, help me. So we went to America first, and while we were in America, I was actually in the swimming pool, and this lady came up to me that was in the group. I didn't know her very well, but she came up to me and she said, "Linda," she said, "I've been watching you for days now." She said, "You've been eating, you've been drinking, you've been in the pool, she said, "Your lipstick never ever comes off." And I said, "Oh." And she said to me, "What is it?" And I said, "It's lip sense." And she said, "What do you mean it's lip sense? Can you buy it?" And I said, "Well, actually, you can buy it through a distributor in Australia." And I said, "Well, I've been using it for about 5 years. I joined, but I never did anything with it because I just wasn't in a good place. I was in a very, very dark whole space in that. So I had no time for anything else." And she said to me, "I'd love to get some." So I said, "Well, I can phone one of my friend who's a distributor in Australia and ask her." And she said, "Why don't you become a distributor again and sell it?" She said, "This is amazing product." And I said, "Well, look, I've got some here. Why don't you come up to my room and you can try it?" With that, the 6 ladies that I went with all ended up in my room, lying on my bed, trying on lipstick. And they were just blown away. And I mean, these were women that could afford anything and anything. So with that, I ended up losing all my Senegen's lipstick. So in the whole duration of the trip, I had to actually go to their rooms to put on lipstick because they had my lipsticks. So anyway, I rang Rhonda, who is my sponsor, and I said, "Look, can I join up with Senegen's again?" I said, "Because I've got all these ladies that want to buy the cosmetics," and I said, "Either you sell it or..." And she said, no, you sign up." So I signed up, and with that, I had all these big orders selling. So basically, that's where mine started as far as the Senegens was concerned. And I've been doing really, really well with that because I love selling. It's a passion of mine. I can sell anything to anybody. I have a little bit of problems with talking and getting my point across sometimes and that, but when it comes to selling, I can sell. And then Nicole came home earlier this year, and she started telling me about the Forever Living, and I thought about it, but I never did anything. And when she come home this time, her and I got chatting, and she explained the whole concept of Forever Living and the aloe vera and that. So I started taking it, and this is the first winter that my partner Peter and I have never had any pain with our arthritis. And I've given it to a couple of people, and they've said the same thing with different ailments. So I got on board with it. So now I've decided I am going to actually do Forever Living as my primary business and my Synergens as my secondary, but combine the two together because they're both natural products. And today, more and more women and men are looking for things that haven't got a lot of chemicals in them. They haven't got, we have so many different things in our products. So they are looking for them. So, so for me, I'm on another journey now of success.
That's amazing. How does this business changed or helped you go through your journey?
Well, as far as the journey, like as far as what it's done for me since losing Shane and Lloyd, it's given me something to focus on, something to take my mind off that constant pain, that constant sadness, that constant feeling of loss. Sorry if I get a bit emotional, but but it's given me another sense of doing something and not feeling so, because I've got so many people that I can reach with this now. I can talk, and I'm not only talking about my product, but when I'm talking to them and they ask me what I tell them, and they're quite amazed that they can't believe that I've come so far and I'm doing so well after everything that I've been. But it's such an amazing thing for me. It's given me so much confidence. It's given me so much strength and willingness, and I want to get out there and share it with so many people, because it is such an amazing thing with the products and everything. But as far as what it's done for me personally, it's taken away some of that self-pity, if you want to put it that way, and made me focus on how I've turned my life around and use that in a more positive way in my life. And since I've started doing that, my life has grown, my life has expanded, and things that I never thought would happen since I've started thinking this way have started happening, like a miracle type thing. So for me, it's just one of the most amazing things that's happened, that I've done for myself, not for anybody else, for me. For me, it is just, and I think anybody, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, I think if you can focus on something to get away from that trauma or illness or whatever it is, and work on that and use that as your crutch to get going, to build your life again. I think anybody can do anything with their lives. So,
what do you recommend people for people who want to change, who want to start from scratch, or want to change what they had happened to them?
I think they have to start off with baby steps and look deep within themselves and find out what is it that they really want. What do they want? What do they want to do with their lives? To eliminate all the bad or all the illness or all the I was going to use a word before, but it's I think you yourself have to be kind to yourself. You got to respect yourself. You got to love yourself before you can even venture out to do anything else. Once you have done that, the world's your oyster. You can do anything you want. A lot of people go, "Oh, I can't do that." I know I'm the biggest one for that. Mm-hmm. I've often said to Nicole, "I can't do this." And she said, "You don't realize just how good you are," And I'm starting to listen to what she is saying and what others are saying. Yes, I am good. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at myself now, and I want to show people that you can do whatever you want. Just don't try to do it all at once. Mm-hmm. Take those little steps. Take a pause. Think about it. Then go on and do it again. Until you get to that point where you think, wow, I've done this. Mm-hmm. And they can do it. They can. There's books, there's people you can talk to. It's on computers. There's so much knowledge out there. Yeah. There's so many people that you can ask for that help. But the biggest thing is asking for that help when you need it. Because if you don't, and accepting the fact that you are where you are at the moment, because a lot of people are in denial. Mm-hmm. Just accept it and go with it. So,
and take the first step.
That's right. The first step is the hardest step anybody can take. Mm-hmm. Anybody. And it's taken me a long time to remember this. But I took that first step. It was the hardest step. And I did. And now look at me. I'm writing a chapter in a book. Who would have ever thought I would have been doing something like this? I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I could be doing something like. And I am so proud of myself. And people can do this. They can do it for themselves and be proud of themselves.
Yes. So. One last question. Could you describe your journey in one word?
Strength.
Why strength?
Strength because it takes a lot of strength to take that first step, and confidence to take that first step on any journey. Especially if you haven't got the confidence, mm-hmm. you haven't got experience, you don't know where you're going. I think it takes a lot of strength to be able to do what you've done.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to add for the interview?
I just want to tell people, just take that step. Just embrace it.